A former lawyer for Microsoft, Xbox, Bungie, and the Pokemon Company has come out to defend Sweet Baby Inc. Also made it clear that he has made a career of trying to get rid of gamers. And he also makes it clear that he hates you if you are calling out Sweet Baby Inc. and its vile actions. Before we get into this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. Wrote this up over at thatparkplace.com. This man's name is Don McGowan. You can look at his LinkedIn profile right here. He started his career in 2004 as an attorney for Microsoft. He then moved to Xbox Game Studios in 2005, was there till 2008. He then was at the Pokemon Company International for 11 years from beginning in 2008. Looks like he ended there in 2020. He then jumped over to Bungie, where he created a bunch of diversity and inclusion programs for them. Was there from 2020 to November 2023. And now he says he is self-employed. But this is what he had to say about Sweet Baby Inc. and his disdain and hatred for video game players. He posted this under his handle Legal Minimum, but he does confirm that he is Don McGowan. He posted this back in September 23, 2022. He says, "I am Don McGowan." It's right there. So this is who this is. He responded to a thread by Kotaku journalist Alyssa Mercanti that claims that Sweet Baby Inc., as well as herself and other journalists, are being harassed. Of note, Mercanti does not share that Sweet Baby Inc. employees Chris Kindred and Maya Kramer, as well as CEO Kim Belair, have launched multiple cancel campaigns against the Steam curator list and its creator, Brazilian gamer Cabrutus Rambo. She also makes no mention of the racist actions of Sweet Baby Inc. employees or the past racist comments made by Kim Belair. Obviously, I'm referring to current Marvel's Black Panther developer, Danny Lalonde, who admitted to discriminating against white people and has also admitted to being a racist in the past week. And then obviously referring to Kim Belair's comments from 2019 that she made during the Game Developers Conference, where she compared straight white male gamers to picky babies, and also revealed that those gamers are the ones that are standing in the way of her progress and her goals. But this is what Mercanti wrote. She said, "If you aren't sure this is a harassment campaign, just look at the content. Look at how many sock puppet accounts flock to comment on posts. Look at the language in those comments. Look at the images they're sharing, the way they're manipulating pictures of women." So McGowan responded to this thread that Mercanti posted, and he wrote, "Thread, 20 years in games, 17 in the C-suite. So I'm well situated to say these people blaming one consultancy for everything they don't like are again demonstrating they know nothing about the subject they purport to be discussing. They are sexist and racist." So the guy literally starts off by lying, claiming that people criticizing Sweet Baby Inc. are only blaming them for everything that is wrong in the video game industry. That is absolutely not true. Much of the discussion has been obviously pointed at Sweet Baby Inc., but there's been a lot of other companies that do the same thing that Sweet Baby Inc. does, and there's also been a ton of criticism levied at these AAA game studios for hiring Sweet Baby Inc., knowing what their goals and mission is. So he's just straight up lying there. Not surprising, right? And then he obviously calls gamers sexist and racist. What do you expect? That's what these people do. All they know how to do is throw out labels because they don't have the truth on their side. So they lie and then accuse their enemies of things that they are actually guilty of. Remember, we have an admission from Danny Lalonde, a former Sweet Baby Inc. employee, that she did indeed discriminate against white people and that she is a racist. So you really can't make this stuff up. I mean, they always expose themselves. They always tell on themselves because they can't keep the lies straight. You can't, I mean, once you tell so many lies, they eventually start contradicting themselves because these people aren't very smart either. Nevertheless, he goes on and says this, and it never occurs to them that the reason that nobody made games for them was because nobody wanted to make those kinds of games. That's utterly ridiculous. People were making these games for years. They enjoyed them. They wanted to make those games. Again, he's just lying through his teeth over and over and over again. It just doesn't really make any sense whatsoever. I mean, people are really enjoying Helldivers 2, so people are indeed making games for gamers. It's just that's why would you be making a game if you didn't want to make a game for gamers? It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. He then says nobody wants your money because no one wants you in the environment. Take it from someone most of whose job was figuring out ways to get rid of you. So he actually confirms that his job as a lawyer at these companies was to remove you from gaming. This is something we also just recently saw from Warner Brothers. Is Warner Brothers Discovery's chief diversity officer, where he actually said he wants to create environments where he excises employees from the company. Just utterly ridiculous the way these people operate. It is truly vile and evil. But there you go. Confession from Don McGowan that he's trying to get you out of gaming. He literally doesn't want you to be buying these developers' products. I mean, what kind of company hires a person like that says like, no, we actually don't want people buying our games, like, and you wonder why games like Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League likely lost over $100 million for Warner Brothers. I mean, truly, truly baffling. You're wondering why game companies like Volition are shutting down after their Saints Row debacle. I mean, just look at the landscape, Mr. Don McGowan. The truth and the evidence of that truth is just simply not on your side. And that's why you have to lie and obfuscate. He then goes, trust and safety departments exist to get a-holes out of the gaming environment. That's probably true. And obviously, when he's saying a-holes, he's saying he's referring just to gamers. I probably do agree with that assertion. Obviously, he just said that is what his job was, and he probably was head of one of those trust and safety departments. We obviously saw all of that with Twitter back in the day before Elon Musk took it over. We know how their trust and safety department operated. It was clearly to silence opposition to the regime. Nevertheless, he goes on and says, you end up creating them to get rid of a-holes because adult humans don't want to spend their leisure time with a-holes. You're a gamer gator. F off, you child. And he takes the Lord's name in vain there. So this guy is clearly deeply wounded as well, I think. I think he has his own internal problems, very deeply wounded here, and he's lashing out because he has his own problems that he clearly can't deal with. That's just kind of my opinion on that. And then he says, nobody wants your money. And then he's literally trying to tell you to be a degenerate by buying anime porn. I mean, the guy is truly, truly has a lot of problems here, and he's just lashing out. But he's also, I think, revealing how some of these game developers operate and how much they truly do indeed hate you. I mean, just look at how much this guy hates you, because I think he hates himself, and I think that's what you see a lot with these entire like game developing studios are operating with people like this. They hate themselves and they lash out, showing their disdain and hate towards people who do not like what they are doing. He then went on to take a shot at former World of Warcraft team lead Mark Kern via ex-user Rami Ismail. Ismail is a Muslim activist and co-founder of Lambeer, which is a game studio that has produced a mobile game called Ridiculous Fishing, as well as Lufttrousers and Nuclear Throne. I'm not familiar with any of those games whatsoever. And his Wikipedia page actually says he's basically a like he goes around and does like PR for diversity and inclusion in video. So shocking that he would be cited there, right? But this is what Ismail wrote. So the Gamergate ex-dev grifter, obviously he's referring to Mark Kern there, is back claiming crap about forced diversity, leading to funding. And let me tell you, not even once in my life have I worked on or with any title that had an easier timing getting funding because it was different, diverse, inclusive, or equitable. Except we know that ESG investing is real. We've seen it. We know that these companies have it on their websites. You can just go to Embracer Group. They literally have a whole ESG thing. So you're lying. They literally do this to get more funding. It's on their websites. They literally have it on their investment portfolios. You can look at film production studios and companies like the Walt Disney Company, which license video games. They have that a part of that as well. So we know all of this stuff actually does indeed happen. So again, another lie that Don McGowan is pushing here. It's wild that this guy's a lawyer, but I guess in this day and age, you got to be a good liar to be a good lawyer, right? He then posted, by the way, if you're effing crying about the fact that I'm telling you to eat crap, think about why you're such a person that the producer of Detective Pikachu thinks you are human garbage and maybe work on being less crappy. I mean, he's just completely like gone off the rails here. He's lost the plot. He's now saying like, "Oh, I created Detective Pikachu, so and I'm calling you a human garbage person, so that must mean you are human garbage." I mean, the ego on this guy is just absolutely massive. And again, I think is another piece of evidence that shows he is a severely wounded individual. He then says this: "You complain about bubbles, but you're living in the biggest one. You dorks sit around self reinforcing that you're somehow not human garbage. Get your moms to give you more allowance and buy a clue." So again, he's now patronizing and insulting gamers. True, I mean, it's wild that he worked at a gaming company and he hates gamers so much. Worked at multiple gaming companies, just hates them so much. Just geez. I have to say, I'm almost impressed with the one person who quote tweeted the original tweet and also screenshotted it in case I blocked him so he could have forever proof that he is a dork and no one intelligent agrees with him. I mean, I still blocked him because dork. I mean, he's literally whining about bubbles and he's talking about creating his own bubble by blocking people who disagree with him. Truly wild. He then cites an interview with Aftermath where he explains what he did at both Bungie and the Pokemon Company as a way of giving his opinion more authority. I don't think it does at all. Again, it just kind of reinforces that there's a bunch of deranged, wounded individuals who work at these companies who are taking their own self hate out on gamers. He then wrapped up his thread writing this. What's the old rule about not showing tolerance to people who are themselves intolerant? That one. That's what you see in this thread. And my response is no, I'm not interested in debate. No, I don't care if you think I'm a bully. Get back in your effing lockers. So, very clear there that these people are not interested in compromise. They're not interested in debate. And this is a war where one team is going to lose and the other team is going to win. I mean, this is what he is saying. If you think there's any kind of compromise with an individual like this, who is pushing this kind of vile, evil agenda that has this much hatred towards gamers, I really don't know what to tell you. There is no compromise with someone like this. These people want to destroy you, and they are saying it out loud that they want to destroy you. He then concluded saying he doesn't want to hear the truth. Sure, dork, what you believe isn't true. So he's obviously he's quoting someone there who's criticizing him. And then he says, what you believe isn't true. Again, we've just gone over how many lies you've posted in this entire thread. So you're actually the one who's lying, and we have the evidence that backs up backs up the actual truth. You don't. He then goes on and says, what people aren't allowed to disagree. Again, creating an argument there. Have at it, champ. I just don't care about your opinion. So again, he then admits there that he doesn't really care about the truth. So he's going to lie and continue to lie because he just doesn't care. And this is the type of person that has taken over the video game industry. People like Kim Belair, and is defending people like Kim Belair. So this, I think, is a good to highlight just who is running a lot of this stuff and why they hate you so much. Let me know what you guys make of what Don McGowan had to say here and his defense of Sweet Baby Inc. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, but to always speak the truth.